What up, everyone? Welcome back to Blade Bias. I have a pretty interesting idea today. So I was cleaning out my Balisong case from me having COVID and Blade Show, and I realized that the only Balisongs that I've actually flipped since I got back from Blade Show was my incredible Kraken that I love and need to make a full, not only Blade Bias video on, but full main channel video on, because the Kraken and the Damascus of this particular Kraken is incredible. I've touched that, flipped my Nemesis a little bit, which again, I will also make a Blade Bias and a main review on, and my Tay Flipper. But everything else in my case, I have not touched since Blade Show. All of these stayed in my case when I had COVID. I was down and out, and I didn't bother opening it or cleaning any of them or flipping any of them until now. So I figured, why not flip my Balisongs that I own for the first time in a long time? Because you, especially flipping other things like the Nemesis, the Tay Flipper, the Kraken, you kind of not forget, like I'll never forget what these feel like, but you don't really remember how good it is. And you kind of have this experience. I've had it with the Arctic all the time. When I flip the Vortex for too long, I go back to the Arctic and I go, damn, I forgot just how much I like this thing. So I want to go through and get kind of my first reactions, I guess, to my Balisong case. I have no idea if this is even good content. We're going to do it. First up, Cycloid. Now I flip the Tay Flipper a lot, so I'm used to the same weight class. I'm used to the plastic. How does a Cycloid feel after only flipping the Tay Flipper for so long? Oh, weird. I'm kind of struggling to flip it. It is light. I always remember the Cycloid is light, much lighter than I'm really comfortable with. It feels a bit weird. It feels a bit more handle bias than the Tay Flipper. Doesn't fan as well, I feel like. It feels good. Definitely feels good in the hand. But I don't really, it's honestly tougher to flip than I remember it being. Maybe I'm also just not used to it. Like all of these Balisongs, I am just not used to. Because I'm used to these three sitting over here. I'm used to this big bulky thing. I'm used to this. I'll give my opinions on that later. And I'm used to this beautiful in every way beast. The Kraken is so good. Anyway. Cycloid. I also kind of want to do like a thing where I kind of rate, is it better or worse than I remember it being? Because being at Blade Show and trying so many different things, I didn't realize how bad my collection is. I realized how good my collection feels compared to everything else. Because everything else is good. But being at Blade Show and trying everything kind of made me realize, oh damn, the things in my collection are really good. So Cycloid, I'm going to say it feels about like I remember. A bit weird to flip for the first time, but not too bad overall. I still like the Cycloid, obviously. I don't think this video is going to result in me suddenly hating a Balisong that I didn't hate before, but next up is a Squid Trainer. Also, I should mention, we're not doing any of these. This thing's terrible, this thing is all binded, and this is just going to be the same as this Arctic, so... Next up, we have the Squid Trainer. With the Squid Trainer is immediately lighter than I remember it being, which makes sense. Being at Blade Show, I've kind of tried a ton of heavy Balisongs, so it makes sense that this thing feels lighter than I remember it being, but... Ooh, the Squid Trainer feels good. The Squid Trainer sounds really good, too. Yikes. The Squid Trainer kind of just feels like a heavier Kraken. Now that I've flipped the Kraken for so long and I know how much I like that thing, the Squid Trainer feels like a solid... It's as solid as the Kraken. I mean, granted, mine has bushings in it, but it's as solid as the Kraken. It sounds really good. It feels really nice in the hands. The texturing feels amazing. I think the only difference is that it feels lighter than I remember, but I think that's just because of all the heavy things I tried at Blade Show. But also, like the Kraken, it feels lighter. Oh, that's so annoying. That is so bad. We're good. It feels lighter, but like not as light as the Kraken. Feels lighter than I remember it. It doesn't feel light. I should say that. It does. The Squid Trainer really just does feel like a bulky, heavier Kraken, to be honest. Which is, I guess, praise to the Squid Trainer. Because it really does feel really good. I like how the Squid Trainer flips quite a bit. Ooh, especially the Z Choker. That felt really good. Yeah. Squid Trainer's still good. Still like the Squid Trainer. I would say it's about how I remember it. Slightly lighter than I remember it, but also pretty much how I remember it. Next up, oh, bite over there. Next up is the one that I'm actually this is the main reason that I kind of wanted to make this video. Because now that I have, now that I have a Nemesis, I'm realizing how similar they are in design language, but I'm kind of interested to see what the lower end NRB trainer feels like. So let's see what the Vortex is feeling like. This thing feels very nice. Oh my gosh. God, I will always love the Vortex, man. This thing just feels incredible. It feels smooth. It almost feels soft. Kind of like my Kraken. Every time I pick up my Kraken, I realize, like, this feels solid and, like, soft. I'm also feeling that with the Vortex. It feels meaty in my hands. Oh, man, I like the Vortex a lot, and I like it more than I remember. It feels better than I remember it feeling. That could be due to the fact that the Nemesis is... Is it smaller? Is the Nemesis? No, the Nemesis is about the same size. But, look at that. The Nemesis is much thinner and less rounded than the Vortex. So it definitely makes sense, since I'm used to flipping a Vortex the past few days. It definitely makes sense why since I'm used to flipping a Nemesis the past few days, it makes sense why the Vortex feels bigger in my hands and smoother. Aluminum just feels like softer than titanium does. Wow, this feels amazing. The Vortex is so good. I can't wait to write my review on this thing. Should be the next review that comes out on my main channel. But yeah, the Vortex is amazing. And that sound, oh my god. NRB killed it with the Vortex for the price point, for the materials it's made out of, the balance point, the weight. And I'm honestly debating, like, I don't know if I want a V2. I'm going to be honest, because I really like the V1. And the V2 changes the balance point. The V2 adds the texturing. All the other dimensions are the same. It changes the blade. I don't know. I'm going to have to try a V2. My original plan was to sell this and then buy a V2. But I'm going to have to buy a V2 first, because I want to try it to see if I will like it as much as I like this. The Vortex... better than I remember. Holy cow. That feels amazing. And finally, my boy, the Arctic. I think like the Arctic is the kind of brainchild of this video, because I would always, like I said, flip the Vortex, flip the Squid Trainer, flip the Cycloid, and then come back to the Arctic and realize, wow, I like this thing a lot more than I remember. Unfortunately, this is my safe queen, and it's taken a bit of a beating, but that's all right. And yeah, the Arctic, like, the Arctic will always have a place in my collection. Trying other things at Blade Show did not ruin the Arctic experience like I thought it was going to. Like I thought, oh, I'm going to try the Antarctic. I'm going to try better ballast songs like the Prisma, like the Seraph and all that stuff. And the Arctic is just going to be ruined for me. But it's not. This thing still feels so well made, rounded, soft. The blade spine feels incredible. The rounding on the handles feels amazing. And the balance is just handle biased and just unique enough for it to still feel unique in a collection where I have other handle biased knives. Actually, I don't know if I have other handle biased knives. I think this might be my only one. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, this thing just... Gosh, the Arctic is just unique, and that's why I love it so much. The Antarctic is great, don't get me wrong, but I'm probably not going to get one because it's just a light, neutral flipper. It kind of feels like a Vortex or a lighter Squid Trainer, or hell, it kind of feels like a Kraken, and I already have that experience, but there is no ballast song that's kind of given me the experience of the Arctic. That is so perfectly weighted, which is, it's heavier than this, but it feels lighter somehow. I really can't describe it. And just overall polish that Glider puts onto these. The incredible tolerances that barely even wiggle. The rounded handles, the rounded blade spine, like everything about the Arctic's just amazing. And I love it even more every time I'd stop flipping it for any period of time and come back to it. Like I said, the other ballast songs at Blade Show did not make me realize that the Arctic is bad. They made me realize just how good the Arctic is. And these tolerances, dude. Feeling these for the first time, that's incredible. This is $120, and look, it barely moves. Compare that to my NRB Nemesis. Look at the play on that. It's enough for it to not have tap, which is good, but like, look at the play on that. That's a lot of play for a $300 trainer. And then the Arctic, $120, just comes in, bam. And all the tricks that I've learned just feel amazing on it, because I pretty much learned most of my tricks on this. I learned how to behind the 8-ball on an Arctic. I learned how to Z-choker on an Arctic. I learned how to do all of this stuff on an Arctic, so it just makes sense, and it just jives with my brain. And I love it. I love the Arctic so much. And if you want to win an Arctic, go to my main channel. Haha, plug. Go to my main channel and join the Arctic giveaway, because I'm giving away an Arctic. You can win it. Yeah, that feels good. And just for nostalgia's sake, I know it's the same thing. I'm going to flip my green guy. My first ever metal trainer that's binded and has tap and all of this stuff. I could tune out the tap, but I'm just kind of lazy because I know it's going to come back. It still feels so good. Tolerances on this one obviously are not going to be as good, and I think it has tap. Has a little bit of tap, which I think actually might be like these screws down here that aren't tightened properly. But yeah, my OG Arctic. The first metal ballast song I got, the thing that started it all, taking a beating and still holds up, still flips well. Gosh. Love this thing so much. That was a fun video. You might think like, oh, that's stupid. You're just trying your collection again. It's your collection. How are you going to... When you don't flip a few ballast songs for a long time, like I haven't flipped these since Blade Show, and Blade Show was like a week and a half ago. Or... Blade Show was like a week ago, I think. And I've only flipped like the Nemesis, the Kraken, the Tay Flipper. It's like, it's awesome to go back and try them again. Not for the first time, because you don't forget what they feel like, but you forget all the little tiny details that you love about them. Like the Arctic's rounding and the crown blade spine. Like you forget about those things so that when you pick it up again, it's like, holy crap, this feels incredible. So yeah. You just watched me gush about my collection for, what, 10 minutes? But honestly, I don't even care. That was fun. If you have a bunch of ballast songs, I highly recommend going back and trying some of your old ones that you don't think you like. because after not trying them for so long and after comparing them to other things, you might realize that you like them a lot more than you think. It's happened a lot of times, like I said, with the Arctic. But yeah, that was that. That was a weird video. Let me know if you enjoyed it. I am going to go... I don't know what I'm going to go do. I cleaned out my room. I have like a big open space in front of me now, so I can finally do VR. Maybe do some VR streams. But yeah, go check out the giveaway on my main channel if you want to win an Arctic for yourself. And watch out in the future. Like I said at the beginning, I'm going to do a Nemesis blade bias because I just got this back from NRB. No tap anymore. Hopefully it stays that way. I also would love to do a blade bias on this thing because this thing... Like I said, not only does it look freaking gorgeous, but the Kraken has easily become my favorite ballast song out there. It just feels all around amazing. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.